What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another very exciting video. In this video, we are going to be talking about a stock that I don't talk about a whole lot on the channel, and that is Robinhood. And this is actually a company that I do own a very small position in, and I want to go over in this video a recent settlement that they came to on some controversy that they had a couple years back, and then I want to go into Robinhood's numbers and what they are looking like, and why personally I hold a very small position in the company. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below, and if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. Before we jump into all of that, let's take a look at their chart. So they were up 2.5% here today. Over the last 5 days, they are up 5.15%. Over the last month, up 6.26%. Over the last 6 months, they're actually down a little over 7%. Over the last year, they are down 17%. And if we look at their all-time chart, they are basically down an incredible amount, over 71% down in the last 5 years. However, keep in mind that they did IPO in 2021, and since then they did spike up a little bit, over 50%, but from their all-time highs they are down over 80%. And this is a company that over the last few years has gone through a fair amount of controversy. Back in 2020, they actually blocked traders from trading a lot of companies like GameStop and AMC when there was a lot of hype around these meme stocks. So since then, we have seen a few different lawsuits come out against Robinhood, and one of those was settled here in the last couple of days. Robinhood Financial will pay up to $10.2 million in penalties to several states related to platform outages the company experienced in March of 2020 and deficiencies in the brokerage's review and approval process prior to 2021. The settlement comes after an investigation by state security regulators in Alabama, Colorado, California, Delaware, New Jersey, South Dakota, and Texas into outages on Robinhood's app that shut customers out of trading pandemic volatility. The president of the North American Securities Administrators Association said Robinhood repeatedly failed to serve its clients, but this settlement makes clear that Robinhood must take its customer care obligations seriously and correct these deficiencies. Robinhood's head of government affairs released a statement saying the settlement relates to past issues that Robinhood has since invested heavily in improving, including the launch of 24/7 chat and phone support, expanding our library of educational materials, and strengthening the way we supervise our technology. We remain focused on continuing to break down barriers to the markets for those who have previously been kept out. In my opinion, the settlement of this lawsuit is a positive for Robinhood. They've already implemented the changes that really needed to be done. They added their 24/7 support system for customers where they can call in, get support on any sort of trades, and they've done that and shown that they are committed to their customer care. Obviously, this hiccup basically back in 2020 created a lot of controversy around the company, and it has affected the stock price, and there's no doubt about that, as the government has even stepped in and basically looked at the situation and really had questions about what happened with everything going on with GameStop and all the meme stocks during that time. And this could be good timing to put all of that behind them, because we are starting to see their numbers inch closer and closer to profitability. For 2023, the average analyst is expecting 63 cents in losses per share for Robinhood. We have a low estimate of 72 cents and a high estimate of 55 cents in losses. For 2024, however, we are starting to see those numbers get very close to profitability. The average estimate is a loss of 11 cents per share. The low estimate is a loss of 20 cents per share. And then we actually have a high estimate for 2024 of a positive 2 cents per share of EPS. And Robinhood is a company that capitalizes on a strong market and a volatile market. We have seen in 2019, their revenue was sitting at $277 million. In 2020, that number went all the way up to $958 million. And then in 2021, when we saw the market peak out, we actually saw the revenue hit $1.8 billion. Since then, the market has obviously gone through a lot of turmoil, and we've seen that number fall off. It hasn't fallen off all the way back to 2020 numbers, but it's fallen down to $1.3 billion. And in the past, Robinhood has been able to achieve profitable quarters. We could see in the fourth quarter of 2021, they actually achieved $2.99 of EPS. Before that, they were sitting around $2 and $2.06 loss of EPS. But since the market has peaked out in the fourth quarter of 2021, we have actually seen them do a relatively good job of retaining customers, and their EPS has only fallen to minus 45 cents in earnings. And since then, it's actually gone all the way down to a minus 18 cents in earnings. So they are getting closer and closer to profitable EPS quarter after quarter. So really, where does Robinhood fit into my portfolio? When you look at the stock chart like this, you can see that over the last year, they have gone through a lot of volatility. We could see the times where they have been all the way down around $6 to $7, and then times where they have been all the way up to around $12. And really what that presents is an opportunity to run the wheel on Robinhood. If you can kind of time the market and really find these time periods where the stock is looking like it's going to bottom out around this $6 to $7 mark, that is a great time to sell puts against the company. And then when the company is rising and going through this volatility to the upside, it's a great time to sell covered calls against the company as well. So that is really what I've been doing. This is a very small position in my portfolio. Less than 1% of my portfolio is made up of Robinhood. And basically that just allows me to run the wheel against the company. So I like it. I like running the wheel. It's a little bit of additional income. You can get $20 here or there by selling a put or a call against your shares. With that, I am not a firm believer that Robinhood is going to be successful in the long term. I want to see it get to profitability. I think if they're able to do that over the next year to 2 years, I think there is a good chance that the company could see a lot of growth over the next couple of years. But right now, I think it is still a question mark whether they can kind of get there. We've seen that their EPS is fairly volatile. It can go up. We saw that $3 quarter, and then it can go all the way down to minus $2 like we saw just a couple years ago. It's really very market dependent. When there are a lot of investors getting into the market, Robinhood tends to do well. When there are a lot of investors getting out of the market, then they tend to do fairly poor. So that is kind of not a great situation to be in because their stock price really depends on how the market is doing as a whole. So I do, again, have a little bit of money invested into the company. I think I'll keep holding on to it and keep running the wheel on it for at least the short term and see really what the company is looking like it's going to do in the long term if they're able to get to profitability. What I'd kind of like to see, to be honest, is a merger, because if Robinhood were to merge with like a SoFi, I think that could offer some benefits to both companies going forward in having a much larger user base and really being able to convert people from SoFi and their banking, technology over to Robinhood and using Robinhood as a platform. I think that would be a good partnership and a potentially good merger for the two companies. Again, keep in mind, do not buy a company just because some random guy on YouTube talked about it. Make sure you are doing your own research and deciding if that company is good for your risk tolerance. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day.